Welcome back. You're watching and still watching this special broadcast that we have for you, Matric Results 2017. Yesterday, they were announced by the Minister of Basic Education, 75.1%. And I'm going to say that quite a bit because we're really proud of the class of 2017. And that's how many passed the National Senior Certificate. And we'd like to actually introduce, during the course of this broadcast, some of the top achievers that were here as part of that announcement yesterday. And we can go straight to Matthijs Carstens, who's the second top achiever in quintile 5 from the Western Cape. Matthijs, thanks very much for joining us. Congratulations. Has it finally sunk in yet, what you've managed to achieve?
It hasn't sunk in yet, no, definitely not. It will take a while still over the next couple of days. We're going back to the beach, so I'll think over everything over there. But I'm very glad about everything. It was a big surprise, so we'll wait a while. You
say it's a big surprise, but it isn't really, though, because you've been working hard for a long time. These kinds of results don't drop from the sky.
I expected good results because I worked hard, but I didn't expect coming to Joburg for this event. I didn't know there was an event like this, so it was a big surprise, this part.
So when you got a call to come to the party yesterday, you thought, okay, maybe I've done really well.
Yes, that's what I thought as well.
All right, so what does the future hold for you? What's the next step?
I'm going to study actuarial science at the University of Stellenbosch for the next 3 years and then do my honours degree. And after that, I have to do my, my clerkskap, sorry for the Afrikaans word, and after that I'll become an actuary.
All right, so there's a lot of insurance companies already on the phone now trying to get to sign you up. Looking back at your 12 years, what do you think made the difference over time? Were there teachers perhaps, or was it the environment? What was it you think that set you on the right track?
It's all of the factors you just named. It's the teachers, it's the environment, and hard work and discipline and putting passion into everything. I love the hard work and putting passion into it. So that's what made the difference for me.
All right, well, congratulations and well done. And we wish you the best of luck with your future. All right, Minister, when we started this program, there was a little thing that we saw about second chance. And one of the things that I picked up in your speech yesterday was this whole idea of including people. And you talk about special needs when we spoke just now as well. And I guess this is quite a big thing for you. It's not just about getting people through an education system, but making sure that everybody is brought along.
No, definitely, because 12 years of young people's lives, it's more than half of their lives spent in the system, and it really saddens me to see them live in the system or the sector without anything, without any qualification or evidence that they even went through our system. So it's to say to those who've not done well, they might have had a diploma, managed to get a diploma whilst they were looking for a bachelor's degree and have ambitions to go to university, there is a second chance to write a supplementary exam to improve your marks. But even those, because we're talking about 75% that have passed, so which means 25% is out completely. That 25% should wake up, dust themselves, not do anything unacceptable. They must dust themselves, go and rewrite their exams until they get a certificate. So it's ready to say, those that have stayed with us the cause, they must leave the system with something in their hands.
All right, these progressed learners, it's been a talking point for some time. I mean, I'm going to ask the teachers how they've been able to manage juggling the, difference in ages in the children. But what the results, I guess, tell us is that they're not lost causes, that with help, we can actually get a lot of them through.
Yeah, this is definitely so. I mean, it's very, very encouraging to note that 53% of them pass. They produce about 2,000 distinctions, including in more difficult and challenging subjects such as mathematics and science. Gauteng, for example, had provided incredible support to the progress learners, and they produce a pass rate of 68%. And there were 3 other provinces that did equally well, which simply suggests that where there is the kind of support that is necessary to assist and enable learners to perform better and achieve better, then you could have the results. These would have been learners who would have not had the opportunity to sit for the matric examination. They have now sat for the examination, they pass, and would definitely contribute to the economy and certainly would be empowering for them as individuals. So I think the Minister must be commended for taking the bold step to say, forget about averages, national averages. Let's give an opportunity, and it's, as you said quite correctly, Ms. Ndoro, It's about inclusivity, and I think she's provided wonderful leadership in this regard.
All right, so I want you to comment quickly about the challenges that comes with, because you can have kids 3-4 years apart in a classroom, Mr. Maluleke, at that stage. But also, more importantly, what I'd like to get from you is a sense of what happened in Eastern Cape, KZN, to turn things around. What did you do with the teachers?
What happened in the rural provinces, basically, there have been intervention programs. We have what we call collaboration program with the NECT as unions, where we target particular districts, and especially those districts that have not been performing very well. And with those particular programs, we help the teachers to understand how to cover the curriculum coverage and then be able to assist the learners who are experiencing some problems there. So collaboration is very important, and we have seen it working in other areas. So we think that is the recipe that we have found, is that working together, we can be able to address the challenges that are there. So we have targeted areas like Sekhukhune as well. We know that the Vembe area is performing very well. In Sekhukhune, we have another program that we have rolled out in ensuring that the teachers are exposed to other methodologies, support as well, and sharing of teaching strategies from other teachers who are high performers as well, so that they then learn from each other. So we also introduced clusters where the teachers are sharing for mathematics or English or any other subject, where they learn from the best and therefore take it back to their schools. So it's something that we think we need to put more efforts, more resources to ensure that indeed the rural provinces are able to perform at their best, because it's not that the learners there are not capable. They have the ability, they have the talents, they need to be exposed and so forth. One thing that is still lacking, though, is the fact that we are here with the Deputy Minister and the Minister, is that teacher development is very central. It's a lifelong thing for the teachers. It's a right, in actual fact, that each and every teacher must spend at least not less than 100 hours every year on teacher development, so that they improve their skills and their competencies. And this, we need them more in the rural provinces, because obviously, Peter, we lack social capital in those particular provinces, because parents are not always with their children to help them with the homework and so forth. Gauteng has assistance that is given to the teachers in the form of assistant teachers. These three provinces don't have, and it's something that we need to look at and say to the Treasury, we are coming to you, marching with the Minister to demand more resources for these particular provinces, because this equitable formula is not basically equitable, it's inequitable, because it doesn't take into account these rural factors that I have mentioned.
All right, and equity is a big thing, and we will address that a bit more, because National Development Plan, for this to succeed, you have to put the resources where they're needed. Is this something that, you know, when we hear the budget speech in February, that we're going to hear that much more is going to be done? Because I think if you look at the results, what they do still speak about is inequality. To have some provinces 20% higher than the ones at the bottom, that's quite a differential, and it does speak often to poverty, resources, etc.
Yeah, I think the important thing is to realize that what happens in the classroom is affected by social factors, and we've been raising it that education is a social issue. So issues of what's happening around the communities, the difficulties of communities remains a challenge. And but at the same time, we also have to remember that education is one of the biggest in the budget. It consumes one of the highest percentage in the budget. The problem is how we also use those budgets. So it's not only increasing those resources in education, but also how do we actually ensure that there is efficiency and effectiveness in how we use those budgets. And your rural provinces, the panel is correct that there will always be a challenge, because even if you put those resources in education, you also need resources for health that are going to actually support what is happening within the education system. So it's not just only putting money into the education system, but it's the whole package. What do we provide to help those rural communities to actually perform and do well, because it's not only what happens in the classroom, but it's also what happens within the community.
All right, but we have Free State, which is a rural province, Minister. They're the top performers. So, you know, on the one hand, you've got this rural dimension, this kind of managing poverty, but they're doing something right. Is it not a question of just phoning up Tate Mechwe and saying, how do we duplicate that in the other provinces?
No, there's quite a number of things that the province is doing right, which other provinces must learn from. We have a forum of district directors where we share skills, experiences, so there is lots of sharing in the sector. But what the Secretary General of SADTU referred to, the collaboration, the Free State was privileged, amongst other things that they're doing right. There's quite a number of things that they're doing right as a province. But in the past 5 years, Kagiso Trust and the Ramaphosa Foundation have poured lots of money in the Free State to help them to get their systems right, their programs right, and they're yielding dividends of a long investment. They gave them labs, they gave them computer centers. So that investment is showing. But the province itself, undertake, it's doing very well. The appointment of your managers in districts, they have the best managers. They do quite a number of things. They are able to mobilize the entire province. Your mayors, your councillors are all involved in education. So there's quite a number of things that they're doing right, which they are sharing with other provinces. But as Maluleke is saying, the collaboration with the NECT, with time, it's only 3 years old. We are beginning to see its benefits also in KZN, Limpopo, and in the Eastern Cape. So these partnerships also are helping, which is what also the Free State benefited quite greatly from its partnership with Kagiso Trust and the Ramaphosa Foundation.
Okay, all right, we're going to take another quick break and we'll start to get your questions from home and also from our audience here. But just to let you know that we'll also be crossing to various reporters across the country to get a feel of what's happening with our students, ex-students. Many of them are starting new careers, new paths in the coming days. So all of that's still to come. Stay with us.